Welcome to another episode of Neon Radio Podcast. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
We're all in love with the same girl. I'm Declan.
That's not true, but okay.
Thanks for jogging my memory.
This week we're reviewing There's Something About Mary. If you haven't seen this film, go out and watch it. Come back and we'll tell you all about it because we do spoil the film.
Yep.
A little bit about it first. The film is directed by Bobby and Peter Farrelly, the Farrelly brothers.
And I hadn't seen it before.
Farrelly or Farrell?
Farrelly.
I thought it was just Farrell.
I thought it was Farrell.
Farrelly.
Oh, yeah. Double
Yeah,
check.
yeah, I was double checking. No, it's Farrelly.
Farrelly. I'll say Farrelly.
Farrelly, that's all right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what threw me off.
You threw me off, yeah.
Farrelly.
Is it Farrelly?
I think it's Farrelly, yeah.
Should we check?
I'm pretty sure it's Farrelly.
There's no
I
like.
don't know. We get on that how you can type in a Google pronounce.
I feel like I've
Yeah.
heard it
Farrell.
said Farrelly
Okay.
on
Farrelly
things
brothers.
before.
Yeah.
Be ready for me
What's
to fuck that up a
is it
couple times.
Is it symphonic? Is that how you say it?
Phonetic.
Phonetic, that's it.
Phonetic.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll do Farrelly for now, but it's going to change just randomly.
You're the master of doing that too, by the way.
I can't help it.
You know, that's one of your cool quirks.
It's my unfortunate
The
moment.
best during the Harry Potter run was like we got some good pronunciations of things throughout. Right?
So
I can't wait till we do Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Actually, speaking of that, sorry, man.
We're already off.
Well, I was watching because I saw that the Lord of the Rings is now on Netflix,
Yeah.
and I put on the fight scene of Return of the King. I don't think it's as good as it used to be.
do this. Just shoot.
It's not bad. Helm's Deep
all
is the
of it.
battle. Helm's
that's what
Deep
I was-
is
That's the big
one.
one.
That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Return of the King one is good, but the Helm's Deep is the
Yeah, it's the main
How's
one,
it
yeah.
is like
But I just
bomb
found there's
fight.
just like so many tight, quick cuts, and what the hell's going on here? But anyway, that's another time.
it is like an older film.
cinema has also evolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's still damn good.
It's
for
become
what they
it's
did.
become something that people have tried to achieve is to give us tangible battles now. Versus, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. What's that one of Game of? I'm rewatching Game of Thrones by the way of Joanne,
Yeah.
and she's enjoying it, which is good. So we just finished season 1.
Yeah.
But that scene in where Snow's, getting in that, was it one shot and all the horses are running around him? That was insane, man. Season 9, was
Oh yeah, later
Eight,
on
season eight, yeah.
the Battle of the Bastards.
it? Yeah, that one. Fuck, that was good.
That was like
that was
amazing.
How good was that?
Basically, later on, Game of Thrones became, let's just make one episode that's like crazy, and
The
everything
best.
else is just build up to that episode.
And that was right after the Red Wedding. Everything after the Red Wedding started doing that.
Yeah.
pretty
But even
much.
like even watching the first season.
Are we gonna watch? Are we gonna do this on There's Something About Mary?
Well,
That tells you
on-
how much Daniel cared about this movie already.
well, the first season you already
You chose it.
Okay, continue. Let's go. Come on. By the way, I hadn't seen this movie before, and that's what I thought. Let's just watch it because we need something light to go against the Tarantino.
Why don't we
run.
do? How about this? We'll do a Thrones run at some point or something like that.
Oh, that's a big run.
That's a big
We could
run.
do season.
Yeah, we'll do We'll do
One season
We'll take
each.
breaks in between seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna take some time.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Yeah, it's
That'll fill in a gap when we've got a big gap.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true.
for a gap year.
Okay. Jesus. They also brought us the seminal classic.
What are we talking about? Oh, that's right. Farrelly brothers.
The Farrelly brothers,
Farrelly.
Fuck you both.
distant
be
relatives
Farrelly,
of
yeah.
Pirelli tyres.
Yeah, that's right.
God damn it.
All right. here
Sorry,
No, that's fair enough. Someone's got to get roasted this episode. They also brought us the seminal classic and the movie that made it into my top 10, Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, that's right.
Which I far and away their best film.
I know, yeah. Legit.
Yeah.
They also did Me, Myself, and Irene, The Heartbreak Kid, and most recently, under Peter Farrelly, God damn it,
Green Book.
direction, Green Book.
That's my favourite of all these. Yeah.
Well, it's just
Just-
Peter
Is that the one
Farrelly.
with Vigo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck,
That's a more serious
that's
movie, yeah?
insane
Yeah.
movie, yeah. But it's
Yeah, right.
comedy
Drama.
still.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
It's written by...
Oh, man, you'd froth on that movie.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah.
It's written by Ed Decter and John J. Strauss, both who would go on to write and a string of young teen movies in the early noughties, as well as also written by the Farrelly brothers.
Yep.
So it's like a four-person team. So yeah, that's pretty much the info on it. There wasn't really much.
Yeah.
I'll start off with Declan on this one.
Yeah.
Thoughts, general thoughts.
Yeah. I found this movie very problematic. It hasn't aged well at all, I don't think. Even just starting with the basic premise of...
Because you guys have seen it before, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's good you're comparing it against your first.
Hadn't seen... What year did this come out, though?
I can tell you, it came out in 98.
So I would have seen it sort of when it was doing its run on TV.
Right, I think I saw it at the cinemas.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see it at the cinema.
I think, no, I would have watched it on TV.
Yeah.
I would have had VHS or something like that. Yeah.
You would have been quite young.
Yeah, I would have been. That's why I'm thinking it would have been VHS or something like that.
Far out.
And I sort of only remember the shock moments that the Farrelly brothers tend to do in their movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just from the base point of, I've read a lot about this sort of stuff in recent times, and it was really highlighted in the movie Gone Girl, where Mary is just the epitome of a male writer's cool girl.
Pretty much.
Where she's just like, even that scene where she's sitting there going, what I want is a guy that can come to a baseball game and eat a hot dog and drink a beer. And I was just like, this is just so blatantly just like not really so insane. Like,
this seems worse.
and she never wears a bra in the whole movie.
I know. You noticed that too?
I found that.
I was like, what the fuck?
Like, if you're a teen and you're into that stuff, you'd be like, oh shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm 40 and I was like, man, this is like
worst.
It just doesn't seem right.
I just think as a society we've sort of moved forward a fair bit, and it's like,
Big time.
and there's just a lot going on. It's like, and the guys are so fucking creepy in this movie.
Oh my god.
Like Ben Stiller's character's not even he's not even likable.
He's not a nice guy.
Can I just say the funniest part of the movie is when the guy was in the crutches? It was
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He's doing
just doing that.
Yeah.
It was like an Elaine Bennis dance from Seinfeld.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was actually funny. That made me laugh. That part. There were parts that I genuinely laughed
enjoyed.
in. Like I'm not going to say.
I laughed at the zipper.
But but like for the most part, when you break down the way that the characters interacted and the interpretation of Mary, if you want to. I mean, we have to do it on this podcast. If you want to get kind of like that about it, then this movie does have some bloody problems in it, for sure.
I would go further and say it's definitely very problematic.
It's hugely problematic.
I don't know about you, but all three of the guys, was it three of them?
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're horrible. They're not nice.
Not good people.
They're not nice people. Like
stalking. What's other stuff they've done? That's
because everything
false.
they
because
literally
legitimately. Like we're meant to like Ben Stiller's character because he protected Warren at the start of the movie, right? But that's really the only thing we see him do. Other than that, he's kind of narky about other people.
Yeah.
And then, literally, are we just meant to like him because he's a bit shy and nervous? Is that's like his
That's I think
qualities?
What I'm going for, but it's just
he's not. Yeah. Well, it's supposed to be redeeming at the end as well when he's like, "This is the man you love. Go." And I'm like, too late. Like, you've literally been doing the creepiest shit.
And it's also insane that they're all in the apartment at the same time at the end. And then she walks out and she's like, I choose you. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I know.
Oh, and you got the footballer coming in.
Yeah. And she nearly made out with him too. But then next thing she's walking out going, I'd be happy with you. And you're like, what is going on? This is crazy.
And then what about mentioning Dom? What's it called? Her ex-boyfriend from high school. That comes out, breaks out,
right, Take
breaks
my
out.
hand. That guy.
I love that fucking actor. I like that actor, but I do think that in the movie the character is just so bad.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah, and then by the end of it, he doesn't even care about her. He just wants to shoot.
Yeah, and he treats his wife like shit.
Yeah, yeah. The movie, like from a male gaze, is terrible.
Oh, it's
like
horrendous.
This is
horrible.
one of those movies for me where the score just drops as I get to the end.
Oh my! Well, the thing is like in '98, probably most people would have watched this and been like, "It's harmless."
And it's also a 2-hour movie, and Mary and Ben Stiller's character, I can't remember his name, don't even reunite until about 3/4 of the way through. Because I checked the time code because I was like, "Fuck, it's really taking long." And there was 40 minutes left of the movie when they finally meet up again. And I was like, "Wow,
there's a lot of Matt Dillon and her doing things where you're just like, so where's Ben Stiller? He's still on the road."
Yeah, you know what? I like Matt Dillon. I
don't mind Matt Dillon, but that character was crazy.
That's something I really want to bring up, and I might do mine now.
Yeah, go for it.
Go.
I think that originally as a film, back in the day. like in 98 or probably 2000, probably by the time I watched it. I definitely would have thought it was funny, but it does the same thing that it did back then. I can't remember half the movie.
Yeah.
Because it just was too long. There's a lot of things happening that were just unrealistic, and I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Like the dog scene, I'm like, it's funny, but it's not funny. And I'm not going to remember this truly later on. You know what I mean?
I nearly forgot that as well. That's just the Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
No, when
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, Matt Dillon. Yeah, he tries to resuscitate
the dog.
Yeah, it was hectic.
So stuff like
That's
that.
insane.
And also, it's like the most, like, how many things in this movie have puppets? Like dolls.
Yeah.
There's so many dolls in this movie. Anyway. But I do think that, like...
It's overreacting. Man.
I don't like... But I do think that the cast has a really, really good cast. Like, all the actors are actually, like, veteran actors.
That's something that I would add, is that I really do believe the only thing that sort of drags this movie across the finish line, personally, is that they're so lucky that Cameron Diaz is so charismatic.
Yeah.
Super charismatic.
Is that one of their first movies?
Would have been. She was in The Mask and being John Malkovich early on in her career, and this one, they would have been. This was definitely her sort of coming out party
Did she
thing.
do any serious roles?
Yeah, being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
Oh, that one, yeah.
She's unrecognizable in that movie, man.
Yeah.
No, she. Oh, geez, I don't think so. Charlie's Angels was like the big bank for her after.
Watch that,
So bad.
I'm not saying it's good, but that was definitely like that was her
Thing,
face was everywhere on posters. You know what I mean? She was sort of the star of that movie, really.
Nothing will beat her coming out in The Mask. One of the greatest openings ever. Like, even I talk to women now and they're like, that's hot.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's true.
I could just imagine he was like a 15-year-old or something.
Dude, I was way younger than that and I was like, that's hot. I was like,
Yeah, look,
you just know.
we're all not going to deny it. She's a gorgeous woman.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, and that's what she's an attractive woman with
And that helped with
higher
this
level
movie.
of charisma, and
Yeah.
that's really what gets this
Super
movie
high
through.
level charisma. Yeah, especially in this. But I do think, like, I think Lynn Shay was great in it as well as Magda, like her roommate or whatever, auntie. She was hilarious.
It's like her neighbour, but
How's
she's
the
always in
rubber-
her
Yeah.
house for some
The
reason.
rubber tit body. That was
Yeah.
hectic.
That was hectic,
What the hell is that? So far out.
shock moment.
And then in the credits, what they're doing this.
Yeah. The credits I got sick of about halfway through it. I was like, I'm turning this off.
That's fair enough.
Did you guys watch this on Disney Plus, by the way?
Yeah,
Yes.
it was really weird.
Man,
actually.
they've got so many great shows on there now.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
because I was worried about watching it, but I don't think it did this. But I watched Dodgeball on the weekend as well.
Oh, that's pretty funny, but shit.
It's better. It holds up a lot better than
It
this
is
movie.
better, yes.
But there's things cut out from Dodgeball for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
Oh, because of
Yeah.
Disney, maybe?
I don't know. So I was wondering if there's anything cut
Well,
from
there's
this.
also an unrated version of Dodgeball.
That may be what that's maybe.
So,
yeah.
for example, it's like Lord of the Rings. We've got Lord of the Rings now on Netflix,
Yeah.
but it's the
Normal cut, is it?
the cinema theatrical cut. So, I mean, which honestly, if I was to let anyone watch Lord of the Rings first, I'd give them the theatrical cut. I fucked up hard. I did. I actually started watching the extendeds with my girlfriend, and then I got through the first movie, and I went, I've done myself wrong here, because the only reason why you watch the extendeds is if you like the theatrical cut.
I would also argue
That's
that
it.
because I've seen the extendeds a couple of times, and I would say that in a fair few of the scenes that are put in, I was like, I can sort of see why they cut this
Cut that out, yeah.
Yeah.
There are only a couple in there where I was like, actually, this really I think there's one in the Two Towers
Yeah.
with Boromir and Faramir. It shows them.
Yeah, there's one or two
Together.
that are really important.
That's probably one of the best. I was like, that should still be in the movie.
Yeah.
But that's because, well, not to get too deep into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But that's because those characters should be together at some point in time for
Exactly,
the conversation.
yes.
But yeah, definitely. Like, I was watching it and I was like, they made the extendeds for the fans. They didn't make the
Yeah.
extendeds
for sure.
people
Yeah.
watching them for the first time. So my girlfriend halfway through the second one's like, yeah, I can't do this. I went, fair enough.
fair
You know,
enough.
I messed this up. We'll try in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know?
You need that
Yeah.
break in between.
Your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, similar to you guys. It's look, there was a few moments where I just went, "Oh fuck, that's funny," but and then you look back at because basically I was watching it. This is obviously my first run, right? And all I remember is just seeing that
The hair.
the hair thing,
The
because that
jizz
was
hair.
big back in the time. I didn't know anything about the dog scene. Didn't know anything about the ball scene. And yeah, so back in that time,
It gets fucking
I picture
out
myself because I would have been in the age bracket of when that would have been, good to watch
there.
it.
Comical.
Yeah, and I would have laughed. But give me American Pie any day, and I'll watch that.
Yeah.
I'll still watch that now, and I'll
Yet
still
again,
laugh.
problematic now, but
It's not that bad,
but
though.
funny.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, actually holds up with the laughs.
This is way worse. This is like hectic stalking and changing your character,
Setting a
and
detective
lying
onto an old
Yeah.
quote unquote friend, which isn't even a friend.
Yeah, it's hectic.
It's creepy.
But yeah, it's I don't know, man.
He's held the creepiest thing in the movie. Actually, that I said to my girlfriend when I was watching it, and she was like, "Yeah, this is fucked." So when he opened his wallet and he's been carrying the photo of her from prom,
yeah,
for all that
13
time,
years.
it's like it's a
13-year crush.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's
that's
pretty bad.
insane.
Who does that?
I just find this movie, they're just kind of trying to think, okay, what's the worst case scenario for each of these characters, and let's put them into it. That's how I feel that they've made this thing like to be. But I don't know.
The Farrelly brothers, Dumb and Dumber is, don't get me wrong, that is an amazing movie. I think that you put it in your top 10, you obviously like it as well. That movie is fantastic. It's funny. It still holds up to this day.
I think it works with that. Their humor works with that because
But
those
it's
two are
not-
dumb idiots.
Yeah,
but
and it's
they're
not at the
stupid. Like, it's not
Yeah.
stupid.
Well, yeah,
it's
right.
actually super intelligent humor.
Yeah.
But then it's not creating, and they're not problematic dudes. Like, they're just kind of like bumbling through life, and they're not creepy or anything
Yeah,
like that.
that's
You know
what
what I
works,
mean?
yeah.
But then you look at their.
When they go the wrong direction, they go, heard the Rockies were a little rockier than this. He goes, that John Denver's full of shit.
I just love the end part.
The whole thing.
When they say we need a back rub, or the bus full of models.
Yeah, he goes,
And he goes, oh, yeah, it's
couple
that
of
way.
guys that
Yeah,
way.
It's like, far out, man.
Then,
Sorry, I stopped your thought, probably.
No, you're right. And then you look at their other movies that they've made, which to be honest, I've probably only seen. Is it The Heartbreak Kid? Is that the right?
Yeah, I didn't mind that one. That was okay.
I remember.
compared
To be honest, I remember watching that at the time and thinking, this movie's fucking crazy, man. This is crazy, and that's what I was thinking when I was watching this movie. Like, yeah, The Heartbreak Kid is crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I don't think that would hold up at all.
It's
today.
been like probably the last time I watched
like
it was
peas
probably
on him and stuff. That movie's crazy, man.
yeah. Probably the last time I watched it was when it came out.
Yeah.
Or the year it came out.
I saw it at the movies. That one.
Yeah, I saw that
Because the Farrelly brothers, they still had this name because of this movie and Dumb and Dumber. It was like the Farrelly brothers, two of the biggest names in comedy, but it's been like real diminishing returns for them.
Yeah,
I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because they never captured the same thing they got from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Even like at the time, this movie, even Me, Myself, and Irene was pretty.
They were huge. Don't you?
rated
When
at the
this
time.
movie came out, it was fucking massive. Like,
Yeah.
it was big. It was big bank.
But I do think that like they will never get that. It was definitely a time thing. It was definitely something from the era, and you'll never get that again.
Yeah,
Also, what's with movies from the mid '90s to now, and sort of more referencing American Pie, but having these openings where something sort of like weirdly sexual is happening to a character, and everyone's entering the room.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the whole crowd.
It's like the same scene.
I got to admit, man, that opening.
That's good. That opening is funny, and
everything before. Like everything until he gets taken away from the ambulance is great.
No, because that's
And
that's what's interesting is because I thought, oh, maybe that opening won't hold up, and I was like, oh no, this does still hold up. Maybe this movie is good, and then literally
The rest of it
2 minutes later, he's sending someone to stalk her, and it's really creepy. And I was like, oh wow, this movie's crazy.
And then then he goes, I'm going to fly to Miami to see her.
Yeah, but we've also in recent, probably even like very recently, as a culture, awoken to these kind of things.
Well, I mean, even if you were to go even more recently, there's been things that have been occurring right now in the tabloids and that.
Yeah.
With a young lady that was kidnapped and murdered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And, and you see that and you go, you watch this and you're like, is this the week to even review this movie?
Oh, yeah.
To think in a way.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, this movie is super problematic.
It is very. It's insane. It's crazy. Watching it now, you're like, how did this get made? Like, how did this happen?
But I think at that point in time, there was like the whole thing was no one was thinking about any of it.
No.
Like not even remotely.
No one batted an eyelid.
And I think most people, I think 99% of people would see it as comedy. But the 1% that go out there and be like, oh, that's fine,
Yeah.
are the problem.
See, I came into this movie thinking, oh, it's going to be great because everyone's going, oh, this is so good. But then when I was watching them, going, this isn't that good.
Yeah. It's also just like cheap.
Yeah.
Like a lot of it's like a literal dog doll that they're throwing around in the air.
Yeah.
And it looks like a stiff dog doll.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Yeah.
and that doesn't help.
It's yeah. Let's just
Get into just general thoughts. I mean, I think we've covered a lot of it anyway, but getting into just some general thoughts of the review. Some that I had while I was watching it. I said the opening song, all the songs in it feel so like that time, and it also straight away I was like Dumb and Dumber. A lot of the songs had the same type of sound, the guitar work and everything. Anyway,
I didn't really like
cool.
continuously revisiting those musicians. I didn't like it.
I thought the opening was cool, but then they should have just left it as that.
The weirdest moment was when they started singing in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are we supposed to have subtitles?
And why don't we have subtitles?
Really
what are we getting shot? Like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's
Yeah. Anyway.
I said Ben Stiller the perfect looking nerd because if you were to take his
hair, man.
The hair's so bad in it, man.
The early hair or later hair?
No, the early hair.
I don't understand, but also Ben Stiller's hair, because I mentioned this as well while I was watching it. Every movie he gets this, not every movie, but in a lot of his movies, he has that weird haircut where all his hair is short and like a normal sort of like generic size, but just the little mullet curls down the bottom for some reason.
Must be a Jewish thing.
I don't know.
Maybe possibly just generally from like background.
I don't know. But do you feel like he plays the same character in every movie?
Except for like Dodgeball and Zoolander.
And what about what's it called?
Even Walter Mitty, same.
Walter Mitty's not same movie.
It just seems like an innocent guy.
Walter Mitty seemed more heroic compared to any
he
other
does,
moment.
that's his he's Ben Stiller.
Yeah.
Like that's his shtick.
Yeah.
Like he's never going to be like George Clooney is George Clooney. He doesn't really have that much of a range,
That's
he's always
true.
sort of, and there's those actors that just have that. And Brad Pitt's the same too. Like the difference is that Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Snatch, man. He's
But
incredible.
most of the time, you look at like 75% of Brad Pitt's film career is that same just sort of cool cat.
Yeah.
I'm eating food and I'm talking cool character.
Well, that's definitely like things like you can see the epitome of what Brad Pitt is like in something like Ocean's 11.
Don't get me wrong. That's not a criticism. I fucking love Brad Pitt. I'll defend Brad Pitt till the day I die. And I love George Clooney too. But the difference is that they're like cool dudes when they're playing themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Ben Stiller is just like he's Ben Stiller. Unless he plays it over the top.
Yeah.
This is when the charisma comes in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But as we said, no one is charismatic in this movie except for what's her name?
Cameron Diaz.
Cameron Diaz.
And do you think maybe if this movie got made today, it would actually be more about Mary sort of being like more active against these creepy dudes?
I think also it would be that, as well as Ben Stiller's character maybe trying to stop everyone from doing this instead of and then maybe coming off as if he's a stalker, but more so coming off like
circumstances make it look like he's the one doing weird stuff, but it's actually not him.
He's trying to stop people from hurting her or something like that.
Because it also, what also dates it is that that he can't look her up.
Yeah.
Which if you would have made that movie,
right.
and like that was the thing at the time, obviously, but like. It's also weird that he couldn't figure out where she was or who she was, but then old mate found it. There was no story of him finding her. Like, it wasn't hard. He found her straight away.
Actually, he hired another guy to find her.
Yeah.
And then he went off and did it.
Yeah.
It was weird. But I will say, like, that actually is something to talk about because you see that, like, it takes a while to find someone back then. So, in all honesty, it makes it way creepier when someone finds someone. But now it's so easy, which is questionable as well. Like, you know what I mean?
It's just like an instant creepy.
It's like an instant creepy instead of like a long and like it's like been stewing in a pot creepy. Like that's what it is. Like,
That's an interesting thought. That.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's but I do think you're right. If it was made to that, he wouldn't be as creepy.
No.
And I think she would have more agency.
Yeah, she definitely.
Because really the guy on the crutches is maybe the worst character because he's like gaslighting her big time.
So
The
bad.
whole
It's
time.
like crazy gaslighting what's going on.
As well as acting like
And how
he's
did he
disabled.
Yeah,
How did he get a job there?
he didn't.
Oh,
He was
no,
a pizza
he's
boy.
working there.
No, he was pretending.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
Also, just he would walk into the architecture like I
Must
don't
have
wonder
fell
what the
asleep.
architecture moment was though, because how did he find out about?
Yeah, how did he get cluey on that stuff?
He didn't know anything.
Just
You just read a book and say generic things.
I guess
He said generic things, and the other guy. The thing was, Matt Dillon
was
didn't know
shitter at
anything
it,
either.
Yeah.
So they were just like two idiots.
Yeah,
And
dumb.
But what was weird was Mary did have some like a decent level of knowledge.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she
She
was
was
talking
smart.
about periods of time and
Yeah.
like, is this Art Deco and stuff?
I'm just gonna call it. I reckon she's an idiot too.
Why?
Because it's not. Well, it comes down to the writing. There's no girl like that. It's just dumb.
Well, no,
No, that's
I
what I'm
think
saying.
that's-
She is
it's
a male.
written-
It's a
yeah.
male fantasy
stupid.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is even like
That's what ruins the whole thing. That's,
weird-
every character's flawed. It's crap.
The weird thing is like I know
Okay? Straight to
you're
extreme.
probably going to disagree with me on this,
Okay.
but I think that this is more problematic as a male fantasy character
Yeah.
than something like The Babysitter.
No, I would agree.
Because I think that if you see Mary is like literally unrecognizing, like doesn't recognize anything that's occurring.
Yeah.
And they're letting it play out like that.
Yeah.
Then you get something like, Samara Weaving in The Babysitter, and you get this thing where you're like, well, this character is actually just in the film itself feels correctly over the top.
No,
And the girl next door.
because that's a hyper real world, and I do
Yes,
think that she
yeah.
still is a male fantasy. But there's
Yes,
also
correct, yeah.
also the flip that really the whole time she's been doing it to
Sacrifice people to the devil.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
there's another layer to that
more-
one.
Yeah.
But see,
yeah.
this is weird. That's where it gets weird because she's more believable.
Yeah.
than
Than
Cameron
Mary.
Diaz's character. Yeah.
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 Maybe you have touched on something. I think you've touched on something here, Dan, for sure. Because, I think that definitely Mary's like, she feels like wrong and out of place, even in this world.
How can you be that dumb and be that screwed over by men all that time? Like,
Because of how it's
Because
exactly
they're
what you said.
gaslighting.
Because
Because
of
they're
how
they're gaslighting.
and
us.
that's I feel like that actually happens.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
not to
That
that,
does-
maybe not
no.
to that extremity, but
It's a real gaslighting
Like,
is
yeah.
a real thing that happens to women where like or men too,
everyone.
really like that. You could be in a relationship with someone. I don't know a whole lot about it, so I'm doing a very layman explanation of it. It's probably wrong, but like they basically convince the person that they're misinterpreting things and they're the crazy one. That's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not what happened. You're just looking at it like this, but this is really what happened. And then they convince them that they're
in the wrong.
thinking wrong about things.
not to get too serious note, but definitely my last relationship.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So I definitely understand the concept of gaslighting.
I can totally see how it would
Yeah.
happen because if you're in a relationship with someone and you're like all in, you want to do right by them. And if they're convincing you that you've done this thing,
You're wrong all the time.
yeah, like that would totally.
The things that you're doing right are known as being wrong.
Yeah.
And they make you think that you're the wrong one when
Yeah.
you are the right
like
one.
that scene, when he's doing that fake radio conversation to make himself seem like a legend.
Yeah.
That's classic gaslighting.
Yeah, full blown.
Like he's actually manipulating the truth to make her think that she's actually wrong for thinking that he was a bad person.
Yeah.
That's gaslighting.
Yeah.
See how it's like,
Yeah.
but you can see how it would happen to someone if it was being manipulated
Sure.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. this movie's just
It's an odd movie.
it's so bad.
I don't like, don't get me wrong. I don't think the Farrelly brothers ever
No.
intended for it to be looked at this deeply,
Fuck
but
no.
because we've evolved as a society and as people, and like I think.
We see a lot of flaws. in
Yeah,
that results.
and I think that generally we got a long way to go, but we do care more about mental health, and I think we do, all these things like sexism and feminism and everything, they've got so far to go for everything to be the way it should be. But I think that looking back at a movie like this shows that we are taking steps. They might be small steps, but there is something. We are moving forward.
I also have this is personally my belief is that there are lines to cross, and it's weird how I find this movie so much more problematic than so many others.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. Like this is a comedy in all retrospect, and it's acting as if it's tame, but maybe that's the reason why I find it so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, these are three very creepy guys doing very creepy things.
Yeah.
And you're making it come off as if it's all a joke.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm like, I don't like it.
That's it, and I think that's
it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think you're right. If the movie had just been like normal. They were normal and weren't being creepy. And like, if the biggest problem this movie had was that Mary was an unrealistic character, we'd probably be like, oh, you know, of the time this movie was funny and stuff like that. But the three guys really, it's four guys really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really make this movie.
Fourth guy's the worst.
Really make this movie fucking crazy.
Yeah, so bad. All the he starts getting hives. See, that's funny.
He's got a head for it.
That's
too.
funny. The fact that that's occurring.
He
The character's
characters
not.
that guy.
Yeah.
He plays Lily's dad in How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
Oh
and
yeah.
And isn't he in Everybody Loves Raymond as well? The brother or something of.
He might be. Oh yeah, the brother of Amy.
Yeah.
Of Robert's wife.
Yeah.
He is, isn't he?
Yeah. He always plays this weird dudes, man.
I like the guy.
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie too is like seminal for him.
He was hectic in that.
Which has
just the mashed potatoes.
Charlie's Angels things in that.
It probably would,
Where,
yeah.
like he does like the flip through the fence and he's like the thin man.
Yeah, right.
In the movie.
Those movies are so bad, man.
The Charlie's Angels movies.
No, I mean,
First two scary movies are less problematic than this and way funnier.
Yeah.
I would say it straight up.
And actually, these were in the same time as when these were getting made.
Yeah.
When this was made.
Yeah. Well,
I remember. I do remember that because I remember being in primary school and this movie was one that everyone was watching on video at home, but my parents wouldn't let me watch MA movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I was freaking like.
Meanwhile, Reece is watching horrors.
I was like 8 years old. Like no, but I watched like all Batmans and they let me watch action movies. It was more just these like sort of sexual comedies that they were trying to protect me from. Like,
no.
And then I remember this and Scary Movie were like the two movies that everyone was talking about in the playground. And if you hadn't seen it, it was like, oh, you wouldn't get it. You haven't seen it. So I was like, fuck, I've got to watch these movies.
I'll say this: Scary Movie is the movie that. When you're watching it, you're like, this is okay, it's funny. When you recite it with friends, it is amazing. Like, it is like, it's the movie that you talk to with friends and you say, you know that scene? What's up? Yeah, all of them.
Do you know what movie me and all my friends do that with all the time? To the point when other people have sat down to watch it and they're just like, you guys have literally just quoted the whole movie. This is Old School.
That's a pretty good movie.
That's a good movie.
What's his name? One of his first movies.
Will Ferrell's first movie, I think.
No, the director.
Yeah, he did the Joker, yeah.
Later on.
Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
So weird.
What's a good classic comedy about, what do you call like the school days or uni days? It's Tom Hanks in it. It's heaps old. I forgot.
Bachelor Party?
Yeah, I think that one.
Yeah.
Bachelor Party.
Have you seen that? It's a classic. It's like more of a grown-up version of American Pie, don't you think?
Yeah, I've only seen, to be honest, I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen it like on TV when I've been like channel surfing. But I remember it's all set in like one room, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all at one night in a house.
Yeah.
But what I liked the concept of it that everyone else is crazy in it and he's trying to like calm the night down the whole time.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks. And he's just
good,
classic Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Like he's another one. His natural charisma is just like.
It's oozing.
Yeah, and he's just, he's just like, he's way cooler than everyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
It was around like, 16 Candles, all that.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Like the Hughesian days.
That, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another good one. Who's in it? It's got Ari Gold in it.
Ari Gold.
And,
what's his name? Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, Jeremy Piven.
He's in Old School as well.
Yeah. And,
he's the Dean.
Man, so good.
Vince Vaughn, I think, is in it as well.
Underused
Is that
actor.
Old School?
Oh, not Swingers.
No, not Swingers. They go to Vegas. And
Night at the Roxbury?
Nah,
No.
That's it's funny.
God damn, that's another one.
And they get a hooker, and something happens, and she gets impaled on a
That's the one with Jon Favreau, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Jon Favreau's movie.
Maybe it's not Jeremy.
Yeah, what was that? Jeez,
And
what is
Cameron
that
Diaz
called?
is in it too, I think.
Oh, yeah, what's that called?
Oh,
Starts with an S. It starts with an S, doesn't it?
I'll let you know.
Swingers?
I thought it was Swingers.
Nah,
Swingers.
Nah,
yeah.
not Swingers.
It is Swingers.
Nah, it's not Swingers. It's another one. They go to Vegas, man.
They're in Vegas. Swingers.
It's Swingers. I think it is Swingers.
No, there's another one. It's not. And it's got the crazy guy from oh man, he's got a minivan and he goes, "Don't touch my minivan."
Jeez, I don't know.
He
this
goes
movie.
Is Vince
loopy.
Vaughn in it?
I think he is.
Okay.
I don't know this movie at all.
Sorry guys, but this is bugging me.
Now I
know Cameron Diaz is in it. I'm sure it's her.
Clay Pigeons, The Locusts, Swingers, for the boys. For the boys. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, it's annoying.
You sure you're just not talking about a 21 Jump Street episode?
Nah, it's not it.
I don't know.
Carry on, I'm gonna
I think
find
you've
it.
made up a movie.
That's annoying.
I swear to God, it was Swingers. If that's the one you're talking about,
it's not Swingers. I don't know. Maybe what's his name's not in it, but I know that
he wouldn't have been in it then because he's not in
so I threw Cameron Diaz.
anything else.
Get Shorty?
In that.
No.
Get Shorty.
Cameron Diaz.
Damn it. What else did I have here? Look, they might be really bad with the whole the puppetry, but the dick shot with the zipper is fucking horrifying.
Yeah, it's hectic.
And you're right, with everyone coming in, made it that much better.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially if you want to see some really bad what is it called, male toxicity.
Yeah.
Look at the fireman that comes in and goes, bro,
Yeah.
come and check out this. To everyone else. Fucking crazy.
What's the name of the stepdad?
Very Bad Things. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Favreau was in it.
Very
Cameron
Bad
Diaz.
Things?
Have you seen it? And Christian Slater.
No.
Oh, yeah, it's got a real bad score actually. But yeah, I enjoyed it back in the day. Yeah. Bachelor party gone wrong. But anyway. Sorry.
I don't think I have really anything else.
His name is Keith something, I think.
Keith something. Oh, the actual actor?
Yeah. He does heaps of voice work in video games.
He did things in Halo.
Which part are we
Halo
talking about?
and,
The bathroom scene?
Yeah, we're talking about the dad, though.
I believe he does a voice in Mass Effect and stuff as well.
Keith David.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Yeah, he's done heaps of
such
video.
a cool voice, man.
Yeah. This is great.
He's in the last
in
season
The
of
Thing?
Community. Yeah, he's in the last season of Community
How
too.
good's that thing, man?
The Thing, They Live.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah,
Pitch
that's right.
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool,
Holy
man.
shit.
Yeah.
What a run of films. Creep Show.
He does more the other stuff. So,
He might have the coolest voice ever.
yeah.
I know. Yeah. Well, up there in with what's his name from that plays Kratos.
Oh yeah.
He's got
yeah.
just such a
Tilk.
deep
Yeah.
booming voice.
Yeah. Also, Sarah Silverman was in this movie too.
Oh yeah. Just for a moment though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, the cast is
The cast is
A-list.
banger.
Yeah. And even even Lee Evans, who does play the guy on the crutches, he's a fantastic actor as
You know
well.
what I found strange? Right?
Mouse Hunt.
That Stiller is...
Mouse Hunt. That's where I recognised him from. Oh shit.
Stiller's like the main, I don't know, just say protagonist in this film.
Yeah, supposed to be the good guy.
But Matt Dillon's top build.
I know.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Matt
and
Dillon was a bigger name
Yeah.
Oh, right.
for sure
okay,
back
yeah.
then.
back
yeah.
then.
But I just find that...
Zoolander really...
That
it's
pushed him.
Zoolander, Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller got big from Zoolander, right? And
Yeah.
that was like
Well,
2001,
this would
I
have done
think.
it as well.
Yeah.
And then this would have pushed him into Zoolander and then into things like Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at the Farrelly brothers'
But-
other filmography.
I think that...
Oh, geez, they did Shallow Hal. That movie would be so problematic now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were producers on The Ringer.
What's
That
the
Johnny
Oh my
Knoxville one where he
God.
pretends to be disabled for the Disabled Olympics. That's problematic.
I haven't seen that one.
Hall Pass, the movie about the people cheating and all that.
Yeah, they're all shit movies. They're all shit movies. Come
Jeez,
on, man.
they've
Yeah.
They've hit some of the PC world
Yeah.
pretty hard.
Look, I think their target audience, right, has got to be your 16 to 20-year-old.
Yeah, they would have been
Something
young.
like that. Yeah, even younger, I reckon.
Yeah, even I'd say something like between
14.
the ages of even younger, like 12 to 16 or 12 to 18.
It's a bit crazy to look at that stuff. when
No,
you're 12.
I think that's kind of the age where people commonly will start
these days now
watching shit.
because I think everyone's maturing
Yeah,
faster.
yeah. But it's definitely I don't know. This movie fucking crazy, man. Let's get into this. Let's get into the other stuff because I think we've pretty much done enough. We've talked about the only thing we didn't talk about is Matt Dillon's stupid fucking scene where he gets new teeth, which
dumb.
Because she says earlier she likes
Looks like
big
those-
chompers or something. doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It looks like those toy. Not the toy.
the ones that you just
Not the toy one. The lolly teeth.
yeah.
That's also
Yeah.
the thing is that she's like basically everything that Mary likes, like is attracted to, is just like what a typical nerd would have as a quality.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
Well, this is crazy. This movie has a 7.1 out of 10.
I can, yeah. I mean,
I actually
What's it
wonder
called?
if the,
IMDb.
people
who
like
just,
it.
who just say who just say wrote this? Was it the Farrellys?
Yeah.
And also, let me see here, Ed Decter and John J. Strauss. They would go on to do movies like, I think something like the Lizzie McGuire movie, like literally teen movies.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if their
Lizzie McGuire.
childhood if they were all nerds and they're all, I don't know, maybe got picked on at school. I wonder if this came about from that.
Maybe. I wouldn't have been surprised.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't want to make a generalization.
Nah.
I definitely hope not. Just generally, yeah. But let's go on to some of our segments. We've got 2 segments here. Sack it or brisket? We know this isn't going to be great, but let's
the formalities.
A little context for new listeners. Sack it or brisket came from Dan's love of beef briskets. Check out our Enola Holmes episode and the unique term to sack that if he doesn't like something. So is he going to sack this flick's cinematography or make himself beef brisket and love every morsel of its visuals? Ooh, woo, woo, woo. Dan.
Sack that.
We don't need to say too much more.
That's it. Move on.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It definitely wasn't great. It was.
There's nothing that stood out to me. It's just meh.
It's just generic comedy.
It's
shots,
sitcom.
really, isn't it?
Yeah. You could put this on TV. It's a TV show.
Yeah. It's just a 2-hour
pretty
TV
worse
show.
than that.
Yeah.
In these days.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
It.
Thank you, Dan. Can somebody give Declan the facts now? Declan's going to give us some of these beautiful factoids. So I'd say get out the electrodes and zap some life into the facts.
Was that because of the dog?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I zipped my balls up. But this is how I did it.
I was going to say, give me some hair gel so I can look good while I'm saying the facts.
At least we all came prepared.
Here's a bonus fact. The fake semen was the worst looking prop ever on his
Yeah, it looked like
It didn't look real
didn't
at
look
all.
real at all. Wait, hold on.
All right, facts. Dropping Ted on the stretcher when he's going back into the ambulance, not scripted.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy. they dropped him hard too, like nearly hit his head on the back of the fucking ambulance.
So see, when it happened, they cut to make sure Ben Stiller was okay, but thought it was funny, so they left it in.
Wow.
The studio didn't want to cast Ben Stiller because obviously he wasn't a big name
Yeah,
at
that
the
makes
time.
sense.
Right.
And the Farrelly brothers tried to get Owen Wilson, but then the studio didn't want him even more, so that's how Ben Stiller ended up being cast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson would go on like the next 2 years to do things like Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
They weren't too
I mean,
bad.
both of them
Oh,
went on
fun.
to be huge.
They're making a new one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Same characters?
Yeah, same guys.
Cool.
Jackie Chan.
Shit, I thought he quit.
I think he's doing this one.
He's like retired 10 times, that guy.
I know. Standard.
The zipper scene was based on an actual incident that the Farrelly brothers' parents had to help a young man with at one of their sister's parties.
Holy shit. Fuck.
Just the thought of it.
I've never done that, eh?
No.
No.
I don't know how you do it. Usually your dong's then like behind your what's it called?
I'm not going to lie. When I'm at home, I always piss while sitting down.
Yeah, but that's like, that's the midnight piss. That's the one where you're like
all day. I don't
really?
care. Yep.
Is that just because you want to chill?
I heard that it is. I think I read two of things. Apparently, it's better for your prostate or something because it relaxes all your innards when you piss.
I don't know.
Anyway,
about that. I don't know.
But
About
that's
that,
you can school us on that one. But anyway,
I don't know
real
about
men
that, but-
piss while sitting down.
Wow.
And I'm not ashamed of it. Who cares? Obviously, when I'm public toilet, stand up because I want to sit on that filth.
Jesus Christ.
Cool chat today.
Lee Evans' British accent was characterised by a film critic as quite possibly the worst fake British accent in a movie he had ever heard. Lee Evans is in fact British.
Wow.
However, the accent he used was overly exaggerated.
I mean, I think that was the point, though.
Yeah, I
wasn't
know.
it? Like, it
Pretty
wasn't
funny that
actually
he's
a bad accent.
Pretty
It was
funny
just-
that he's really British, though. And they
Yeah.
say it's the
Weird.
worst one ever.
But I think that it just makes sense that was the point. Like, he was trying to be over the top. I don't know about that.
All right, and this is the final one because the rest of them are just kind of like...
Shy.
Well, they're just kind of like bit ones. Oh, there's one other cool one I'll do as well.
Okay.
Matt Dillon and Cameron Diaz were dating in real life during filming.
Oh, really?
What?
They'd been together for 3 years but broke up almost immediately after the movie released.
Wow.
Probably because he was so creepy in the movie.
She watched the movie and went, that's fucking
She probably
weird.
just saw his mo and go, what the hell is that?
And this is probably the best fact for me personally, 'cause it's the most interesting. The dialogue between Mary and Ted when they're talking about meat on sticks was actually originally written for an episode of Seinfeld that never aired.
Oh, okay.
That the Farrelly brothers wrote.
That
So
seems...
they brought it into the movie.
That seems correct. Yeah, that seems right.
Yeah.
It just like it. I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld, so that just comes off like a Seinfeld thing. Yeah, for sure.
I watched the
meat on
my girlfriend
stick.
hadn't watched much at all, so I was like, oh, I've got to get you in the right way. So I put on the Junior Mint episode.
Oh, yeah.
Which is also the episode where Jerry can't remember the girl's name that rhymes with the female body part.
Clitoris.
Dolores. He's like, Mulva.
Mulva, that's it. Yeah, vulva. Oh, it's vulva. He's like,
Ovary.
Okay, I
That's
think
the facts.
Yeah. Thank you for the facts, Declan.
No worries.
Let's wrap this baby up. All right. Final thoughts, Dan. Get your score and everything.
Look, I think there's a few funny scenes. Did I just blow a bubble out of my mouth?
Probably.
Did you see that?
I didn't see.
Okay.
This is making good podcast material.
Yeah, look, man, this is... I don't know. I sort of regret watching it now. Rather than
You picked
20 years. Yeah, no, because I thought...
Oh, you
about
mean rather than 20 years ago, yeah.
I'm glad you picked it.
I am
though.
glad you picked it too.
that,
There was more to
it's-
delve into than we thought.
Yeah, look, it's... I don't know. I think it was 20 years ago, I would have probably liked it. But now as you mature and the world's matured and everything like that, it's a pretty shit movie.
Yeah.
I've got really nothing else to say. It's, you know, if those funny scenes weren't in it, I think, to me, I reckon the most funniest scene was the ball one.
Yeah.
Because that's sort of realistic. Well, yeah, from the facts, we know
Was
it's based on
realistic.
something. And yeah, you hear people doing that. But other than that, yeah, it's just creepy. It just hasn't aged well. Yeah, gives it a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. That's fair enough. So, Declan,
Yeah.
final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie is problematic. That's basically
That's where it's at.
the sum up.
How good are problems?
It's yeah, just so much wrong with it. The men are creepy.
Super creepy.
Cameron Diaz is basically the highlight of it. Her charisma sort of
Pretty
like
much.
I said, dragging this movie across the line, really.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was even it would even be watchable.
I know. I wonder
For
if she
me,
would watch it
basically.
now. Like if she could ever watch
Oh,
it now
she
and be
could
like,
watch it, yeah.
be like,
Yeah,
but what she'd think of it.
I reckon she'd regret.
Yeah, some
Doing
of
that.
it.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's something that would have to be posed to her, really, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? But yeah, I'd give it 2 Marys out of getting your balls stuck in your zipper.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
Wow.
Oh my lord!
I'm going to be quick, man. This is a 5 out of 10.
You already done yours.
You've already done yours.
I know I did. Just gonna remind you again.
Oh my god! My lord. Yeah, I think this movie is. It's always going to be a classic, but it just did not hold up. Not compared to like Dumb and Dumber, or even now that they're doing Green Book, and or
He's better.
one of the brothers are doing Green Book and stuff like that. Just better.
Yeah.
So I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, sure, maybe one day I'll watch it again with someone, you know, as like a put it on rom-com type of thing. But at the moment, it's sitting low.
Yep.
Sitting low. Give it a 5.5 out of 10. Yeah. But let's wrap this baby up.
Yep.
You've been listening to Neon Radio Podcast. We just reviewed Something About Mary. I'm Reece.
I'm Dan.
Give me some hair gel. I'm Declan.
Oh, my lord. And you have a good week.
Respect.